everyone, it's Anya here and I am back with another video for Ophelia Talks. Today this is the first video for our Mystery Crochet Along for the autumn. The case of the mysteriously disappearing blanket at Greenway, inspired by Agatha Christie. For this crochet along you will need the Greenway yarn pack, which is available on our website. We sell it in Wendy or Starcraft, so it is up to you to choose which one you like working with best. This is a DK yarn, so you will also need the hook you usually use for DK. I will not be using any color names in this video because across the brands sometimes the same color has a different name, so I will just be using the colors. But remember, you are changing colors every row and you will need to go to the color table on our blog to find out which color it is that you are using each time. Make sure you use the correct column for your yarn, Wendy or Starcraft. And also make use of the tick boxes to tick off the rows as you have done them. We are making a single bed-size blanket, but here in the videos I will be making a sampler size. This way you can see the whole row in one go. If you want to, you can make the sampler size or a swatch along with me to practice the stitches and to keep with you as a pattern reminder. I do recommend you use a stash color for this. I will of course give you all the amounts for the blanket as well as the samplers. The blanket is made up of 2 multiples, so whenever you want to make a blanket a different size from what I am suggesting here, you will have to make sure that the number of chains you start with are divisible by 3 and are also divisible by 2 plus 1. For the written pattern, please go to the blog on the website and you will also find the color table there. There is a link in the description box below this video and this will take you straight to that blog post every week. So let's get started with chapter 1. But before we can start with chapter 1, we have the preamble to do. So let's start with that. So this is row -1 and you are going to make your slip knot. There we go. Insert the hook, and I am using a 3.5 as I usually do for DK, but of course the yarn is prescribed for a 4mm hook, so use the hook that you usually use. And we are going to chain 195 chains. So the 195 are of course for the big blanket, and I would suggest you use stitch markers to help you count to make sure you have the right amount. So today for my sampler I am going to be chaining 33 chains. So let's get started on doing that. Now if you want to make a swatch you can chain 21. And if you want to make a Layla blanket, you can chain 63 chains. So let me do my 33 chains and I will see you when you have your 195 chains. So I now have my 33 chains here. You should have your 195 chains. So on to row 0. So this is our last chain that we have just done, so keep an eye on that. We are now going to chain 1. This is your turning chain and it is not counted. This will help us to gain the height for the next stitch that we are doing, which is a double crochet. So you're going to place that double crochet into that 195th chain, or in my case my 33rd. So you're going to yarn over, insert into that chain there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that is your first double crochet done. Then we are going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, so this stitch here, and then into the next stitch you are going to place a double crochet. So you yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then you chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next stitch. And this is how you are going to continue all along your chain. I will see you at the end of the row. I've just made it to the end of the row, just doing my last box here. There we go. Voila. I now have 16 boxes and you should have 97 boxes. Or if you count your stitches and your chains, stitches and chains, you should have 195 V's, and I have my 33 V's on top of my work. So now it is finally time to start chapter 1. And chapter 1 is called Ms Marple, and we are going to do 5 rows of different stitches which we will repeat throughout the chapter. So let me show you row 1. So first of all we are going to chain 1, then we turn. So this is our turning chain, it doesn't count. And then we are going to do a double crochet, so yarn over into the same stitch that that chain 1 is coming out of. And we are going to do a chain, skip a stitch, and we are going to place 1 double crochet from here on into the next 191 stitches. So for me, I will be placing them into the next 29 stitches. So into that next stitch after, of course, skipping the chain here. And now I am going to be placing my double crochets either around the chain space or into the stitch. So around or into the stitch here. And I will see you when you have done your 191 double crochets. I will be doing 29 of them. So I'm just doing my last double crochet here. There we go. And now, as you can see, we still have a few stitches to do. So we are going to be doing a chain 1, skip 1 stitch and 1 double crochet into that last V there, which you will have to go and find by tipping the work towards you and picking up the 2 strands there. And of course here we are now starting with changing the color. So we've started chapter 1, row 1. Now row 2, we are going to be doing it in a different color. So let me cut off the yarn. So make sure you cut off your yarn reasonably long. So that's about 10-15 centimeters, 4, 5, 6 inches. Okay. And we are going to be using the next color as if we were already crocheting. So we just pull it through and we finish the row. There we go. And now for row 2, you're going to chain 1, turn, and we are going to be placing a double crochet into that same stitch. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do a chain 1 and then we place a double crochet in the next stitch, of course after skipping 1 stitch. So place your double crochet. And now we will be starting a stitch repeat. But before we continue, I just want to say every row will start with a box and every row will end with a box. And this is something that we will do throughout the blanket, and it is prescribed in every row. So we will need these boxes later on. Okay, so after you have started with doing this, we are going to start the repeat. So we're going to skip 1 stitch. Into the next stitch we are going to do 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 double crochet. So let's do that. 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 double crochet in that same stitch, and then we skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2. Then in the next stitch you do 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 double crochet. Skip 2 stitches. Into the next one, 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet. So I am going to be doing this 9 times. You will be doing this 63 times. So I am just doing my last repeat here. There we go. And now I have 2 stitches left here. So I'm going to be skipping 1 stitch, placing 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And then of course a chain 1, skip this chain and then you do a double crochet in the last stitch. There we go. But of course we are changing color, so I'm going to be cutting off my yarn here. Make sure you leave it long enough. And you now have your 63 V's and of course a box on each side of your row. So for the next color and for the next row, we are going to be pulling through the new color. Voila. And row 3, we're going to chain 1, turn your work, double crochet in that very fast stitch, chain 1 and a skipped chain here and a double crochet in the next stitch. So really you can do this ready to get started for your row. Okay, so now let's see what we need to do for our stitch repeat. So we're going to skip 1 stitch, so that's this one here, and you are going to then do the repeat of 2 double crochets around the chain space. So this is the chain space of your V. So let's do 2 double crochets in there, and then we're going to place 1 double crochet in between the V. There we go. So then 2 into the chain space, 1 in between, 2 in the chain space. I just wanted to make this repeat nice and easy, but also to make it look a little bit different from just placing 3 double crochets in the V. Okay, so this is the repeat that you will be doing for row 3, and I will see you at the end of the row. So I've made it to the end of the row. I just placed my 2 double crochets into the V, and then I need to do a double crochet in between the V's. So let's put one behind it there, and then that's the end of our repeat. So we've repeated that 63 times, and now I'm going to place a double crochet in the next stitch, a chain 1, skip 1 stitch and a double crochet in the next stitch, because of course we need to make that box and we are also ready here to change color. So this is row 3. So let's cut off the yarn, not too short, and let's go on to row 4. So pull through the new color and let's get started on row 4. So chain 1, turn, and we're going to place a double crochet in the same stitch, chain 1, skip 1, and a double crochet in the next stitch, because of course we are creating our box. Then we are going to start the repeat, but first of all we skip 1 stitch, then the repeat starts in the next stitch, and we are going to place 2 double crochets together, 1 chain, and 2 double crochets together in the next stitch. So let me show you how to do that. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Now normally you would finish the stitch, but here, because it's a 2 double crochet together, we're going to finish working on this stitch, but we are going to create another one into that same stitch. So we now have 2 double crochets half finished into this stitch. We have 3 loops on our hook. We yarn over and we finish them together. Chain 1, and we're going to do the same thing into the same stitch. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, stop here, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, stop there, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the 3 loops. So this is what I call a double V. So here the V is made up of a double crochet on its own, and here the V is made up of 2 double crochets together. So then you are going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next stitch you are going to create that same configuration of 2 double crochets, which you finish only half. Then when you have 3 loops on your hook, you finish them all together. Chain 1 and another 2 double crochets finished together. Skip 2 and you do your 2 double crochets together, chain 1, 2 double crochets together, and you do this all along your row 63 times. I will see you at the end of the row. So I am doing my little repeat here for the 9th time. So there we go. So you should have 63 of them. I have 9. And here you have now 2 stitches left. So we're going to skip this one, place a double crochet in the next one, because of course here we are now doing our chain 1, skip 1 and doing our double crochet for our box. There we go. So once again, don't pull through on the last pull through, cut off your yarn, and we are going to get started with the next color for row 5. And there we go, pull through your new color, and row 5 starts with a chain 1, you turn, you do a double crochet in that first stitch, a chain 1, skip 1 and a double crochet on top of the next stitch, because of course, as you can see, we need those boxes on the side. Now we're going to skip 1 stitch, so that's this V here. Then here, this will be the chain space, and this is where we are going to be placing 3 double crochets. So this row you're going to be placing 3 double crochets around each chain space. So the chain spaces are located in between those 2 double crochets together that we did on the previous row. So there we go. So it looks like this. So this is not a chain space. This is just going from one to the other. Okay, this is where there is a chain space. And you're going to be placing 3 double crochets into each chain space all across your row. So you will be doing 63 lots of 3 double crochets, and I will be doing 9 of them. I will see you at the end of the row. So I've just done my last cluster of 3 double crochets here. Then I'm going to skip this stitch. Into the next stitch I'm going to place my double crochet, chain 1, skip the chain and find that V here to do your last double crochet. There we go. And of course that has created another box. So this is the end of the 5th row of chapter 1. So let's cut off the yarn. So let's take a look at what we have done this week. So we started with the preamble, where we created a row of boxes. Then we started chapter 1 with the first row as a double crochet row, then the second row as a V-stitch row, the third row again as a double crochet row, but we placed them in different locations, so around the chain space and in between. Then the fourth row as what I call a double V stitch, so we have double crochets finished together. And then the 5th row again as a double crochet row, but this time we added them as a cluster of 3. So now you are going to start a repeat of row 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And you are going to continue that until you have done 30 rows. Now, if you have to do a row of double crochets on top of this row here, it's really rather simple because you're just going to be picking up the V's. So make sure you go to the color table to find out which colors you are using for every row in this first chapter. Tick off the boxes as you do them so you do not get confused, but it is also quite easy for you to remember which row you have to do because it's going to be a repeat of these 5 rows. So if you've done the V row, then you know that the next row will have to be a double crochet row. All you will have to remember is where to place them. Okay, so good luck for this week, and I hope to see you next week for chapter 2. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!